Welcome, REKICH'S Rockers, to our song series, and we're going to start out with something extremely simple. For our very first song, you're only going to need 5 chords. You're going to need the G chord, you're going to need the C chord, you're going to need the D chord, you're going to need the E minor chord, and the last but not least, you're going to need the D7 chord. As you know, we learned that in our last song with Happy Birthday. You'll know the D7 chord. So just make sure you review the G, E minor, C, and D chords, and make sure you know the difference so you can switch between the D and D7. Alright, so I think everybody knows the song. It's a nice little rocker. We're going to start out nice and slow. When we do our, it's down, down, up, down, up. Alright, is our strum. Down, down, up, down, up. Alright, it's nice and slow. It starts out with a little intro, G, C, G, and D. So, here we go. G. To a C. Back to a G. Then to a D. That's it. Alright, so that's basically the pattern for the intro. G, C, G, and D. And we'll play that one more time. C, back to a G, to a D. Alright, everybody got that intro. Alright, so the verses are basically the same thing until the end of the verse. So we're going to go through it first. If you know the song, sing along with me, and we're going to do the first verse. G, to C, back to a G, playing a new game, to a D. Good, back to again. G, to a C, back to a G, to a D. In the misty morning fog, well, G, go to a D, and this is where it turns different. And thumping in you. Alright, turns to a C, D, my brown-eyed girl, back to a G, and then there's E minor in the middle of the progression, and then goes back to a C. You're my D, brown-eyed girl. And then you finish off the last part of it with that D7. And that gets you going back into the next verse. Alright, so one more time. We're going to go nice and slow again through the verse. G, C, G, D. Then when we get to that last part, it's C, D, G. And then in the middle of the progression is that E minor. And then back to C. You're my D, brown-eyed girl. And then what do we finish off with? Finish off with the D7. Alright. Everybody got it? Alright, so we're going to play the intro. We'll play a little fast. G, C, G, and D. And we'll do the first verse and then we'll stop. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Back to G. Back to the D. Third time. Laughing and a running, hey, hey. And to a D. In the misty morning fog, well, our hearts are thumping in C. To D, my brown-eyed G. Middle. You're my brown-eyed girl. D7. Alright. Nice job. Nice job. All right. So we're getting there. You're going to see up above. It's going to have that chord progression for you so that you know exactly where we're going in between. Then we're going to get to the chorus part. All right. That's where you're going to need your D7, your G, and then a lot of sha-la-la-la-las. All right. So here's how it goes. Do you remember when we used to sing? All right. And that's going to G. So that D7 to a G, and then we got a whole bunch of sha-la-las. All right, so it's C, G, D for the first one, then G, C, G, D, G. So it's the same pattern as the verse. It's just a little bit different order at the very beginning. So it's, do you remember when we used to sing sha la 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 ti da. Back to G, la la la, to C, to G, to D. Alright, and then you would go back into the verse after that, right? They do a little solo, and then we get into the last and final third verse. Alright? Alright, so we're back. We're going to start with the third verse. Now, as you know, the song gets a little bit hyper. He starts kind of going off the normal cuff. So hard to find my way now that I'm on my own. Alright, and so he kind of gets that thing going. So don't speed up your strumming, but as you're singing along, let it loose. Let that voice just go. So remember, it's the same pattern now. G, C, G, and D. So hard to find my way now that I'm on my own. My, how you have grown. Cast my memory back there, Lord. Sometimes I've overcome thinking about making love in the green grass behind the stadium. Back to G or C. My brown-eyed girl. E minor. You're my brown-eyed girl. D7. Alright, and then we go into that chorus one more time. Do you remember when we used to sing? And then we do our sha-la-las again. That is the end of the song. Alright, so I think you guys are doing a great job. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's a good simple song that you can just get your kids or get a couple of your friends and they'll just start bellowing out those vocals. So don't forget G, C, G, D, and make sure you have your C ready to go during the You're the Brown-Eyed Girl part. Alright, if you have any questions, please comment below. Have fun with it. Let me know in the comments below if you got it. Please don't forget to subscribe and kind of help out everyone here at REKICH'S ROCKERS. All right, we'll talk to you later.